Alright, hello people of souls. I wanted to make this guide tutorial to show you how to make money, so I'll just get right down to it. So basically, the first thing that you are most likely going to be recommended to do is obviously robbing some stores. You can basically get a gun from any gun dealer such as Zemitz, for Seville, and most people for VLA's case, which is my faction for example, we can get some from Hazer or from different players. As we do have our gun in our hand, we can do slash rob, but we can only do this when there's LSPD online. For example, there's a current admin online as an LSPD member, and it allows me to rob. Now, after I did slash rob and have my gun out, it's up to you if you want to roleplay this passively by yourself, or you just want to make some quick bucks. After that, you press N at the counter. Then you select cash, then you cash in the money, and boom, you got your first couple of bucks. Now, the second thing which you can do, which is also another thing that you can do hourly in cooldowns and groups, is shoplifting. For the robbing's case, which you just did with slash rob, you do have a 30-minute cooldown, so if there's still cops online in like 30 minutes or so, I robbed at 12:05 p.m. as you can see on the timestamp. I can rob again 12:36 p.m. Now, if you want to really farm money, it's all up to you. But if you do want to do some roleplay robberies, that's all up to you as well. We have a TV right here that someone tried to shoplift, and I will quickly show you how to shoplift as well. Now, you enter the store by pressing F, and also to find all of these stores, you can just do slash GPS, then any store, then you can rob it. But for shoplifting in specific, you should select the electronics store, which is this one. Or there's like 4 or 5 of them around like the whole map of Los Santos. You can check which one you want. So anyways, after you select the electronics store you get in, what you want to do is approach any TV, any equipment that you want, and then just rob it. So you do that by pressing N, walking up to the stand. As for example, say we want to steal this panoramic scope TV, we just walk up to it, press N, got ourselves through the fucking menu, and then after that we walk out. Don't mind obviously the floating hold animation, that is not on my case. After that, we will rush back to our cars. We'd get in with the G button, passenger seat, most recommended. Then select guide through our inventory. Then select the TV in our inventory, store in the storage, Glendale inventory, and we have successfully put the TV inside of our cars. Now, of course, if you want to make money off of this now, there is a whole fencing function, but in order for you to find the fencing spot, you will unfortunately have to look outside of this guide. But anyways, as for the next thing that you can do, of course, you can normally just play the server just by getting your paycheck normally. Like I do, for example, I'm a very big enthusiast in, of course, playing the server and getting a lot of paychecks. As for example to everyone else on the server, so I'm pretty good on that note. And also another thing you can do are burglaries. Now burglaries, for example, have 24-hour cooldowns to them, but they are the big money makers. Now in order for you to do burglary, you need to go to a hardware store, just anyone, you know, you can be anywhere on the map, just do slash GPS, go to a hardware store, and just navigate yourself to it. Now after you do arrive to the hardware store, you just go in, then there will be the tools section, and of course by pressing N, the interaction menu, you can find it. I will quickly drive over there to show everyone what I mean, so none of you are really confused and all of you can be sure in what I'm talking about. Now we arrived to the hardware store in Temple. Hello Temple Ballers. We would go up to the tools section, should be here, the tools, then you'd get a crowbar for $50. Now of course as well, you gotta keep in mind, if you want to, you can shoplift this. You can select the crowbar for example, and you can shoplift it, or you can walk up to the cashier, press N to pay, cash till, use cash till, pay the amount that you need to pay. Now of course I don't need to do this because I already have a crowbar in my inventory, and second of all, because you you cannot buy or shoplift anything after you have already shoplifted a TV, for example, like I did. Once you do shoplift, you will have a cooldown until the end of the paycheck, and you will be wanted by cops. So be careful when you're roaming around Los Santos, because you might as well just get jumped by 5 cops. Now, after you get your crowbar for a burglary, you can just walk up to any property. Right now I cannot do an exact show and disclaimer of how you can do an actual burglary scene, but you might as well be led to an introduction by one of your homies and one of your factions. Now, I would just take temples, houses for example for this tutorial, because even if there was any of them online I wouldn't get shot for this. You walk up to the door and then you'd equip your crowbar by going to your inventory, go to your crowbar slot, equip item, and then after you do that, you would press R and B, which is right mouse button. But of course, you cannot do this on properties that are for sale, for example like these ones. So when you do search around for some properties, and also not abandoned ones, you can unlock abandoned ones by pressing R and B, but this is more if you want to possibly claim a house with like a property lock, or you just want to find a new hiding spot, whatever. There's nothing inside these abandoned houses normally, as far as I know. When you enter them, there's nothing inside of them. They're just empty, and they're just there. That's why they're abandoned. Now the burglaries which you do want to do are on houses that are not up for sale. The ones on this upper floor are all for sale. This one is also abandoned. This one is also for sale. This one is also for sale. We are not in luck right now, but let's just try to find an NPC one. Now, this is the NPC one, for example. Now, this is the one where you mostly do your burglaries. I already did my burglary last night, so I'm on a cooldown, but you would just normally press right mouse button. And actually, I can break open the door with my crowbar. I have no idea why, but I can for some reason. I don't know the cooldown. Maybe something bugged out, but not on me. So, since I do have the burglary cooldown off, I can't show you how to actually rob the things out of the house. Now you pull up to the house that you just broke into with your car. Obviously, you might just want to do this with people from your faction that you were with, be you a hood rider or an official. Then after that, you will break in normally, press F, then store the crowbar back in your inventory to give you hand space. And now I fortunately hit a jackpot, of course thanks to one of the burglary mappers that have given me this opportunity to, of course, rob a beautiful house. Of course, when you are stuck with a bug like that, for example, you're standing still after picking up an inventory object, you can just do /SA. Happens sometimes. And as well as we did with the shoplifting, you can just get in your car, do inventory, select the TV, and then store in the storage. And then you can fill up the Glendale inventory until it is full. You have about 10 slots for each. That is, you can put 10 items in a Glendale or like the average car, because there isn't much storage. Now, thanks to our luck, we have found a very expensive interior with instruments, and now there might be a case scenario where sometimes you can only store stuff in your inventory, like the guitar, and for that you will unfortunately have to sacrifice one of your things if you do want to fill up that inventory slot. Now you just walk up to the item that you want to rob, store an inventory, and you just want to go back to your Glendale. You could RP just holding this guitar, even though it is in your inventory. I mean, physically should be in your hand. You go back in, Glendale inventory, no, actually inventory, then electric base, store and storage, Glendale inventory, and then repeat the cycle. Now, while you are doing all of this, you will have to keep in mind as well, you only have 5 minutes to rob a whole house. So basically, when you do unlock a house or like break into it, you only have 5 minutes before like the property gets locked by the script itself. And this way, of course, you know, you have balance on how burglaries work. So for example, if you rob something, other players can't go after you in the same house. And there should be a function later on at least where the house interiors do regenerate all this stuff. Now, Let's say you've robbed the whole house at this point. I've robbed all the guitars, which are the very big valuables here. Now you would want to just go to a fencing spot, but that's what you want to do for later. And a last robbing feature that you can possibly do is robbing banks. So when you do slash GPS, you can normally rob a store, but you can also rob a bank, which obviously do give a bigger amount of money. Do slash GPS bank anywhere on your map, then you navigate with your car to a bank, and you do the same thing as you would do with any store, walking up to the main desk, doing slash rob with your gun out, and then just robbing it. Of course, right now I'm on a cooldown until 12:36, as I did rob 12:05. And although it is buggy sometimes with the bank, because people do constantly rob this for a lot of money, you can still possibly find some money on the desk on the counter right here. But normally when you are robbing by yourself, you pull out your gun, do slash rob, and boom, you would get the money, at least on the desk right here, as you would do it with any normal store. And as a finale for what stuff you can do for money, you can of course do legal stuff, and the only legal thing you can do as of now, as far as I know, is career. Now career can be done by just going to any store. You just do slash GPS. Let's just not go there because that's a little bit too far away. Let's go to the local general store over here in Little Mexico. Now when you do career, you're not gonna get a big payout. Like it has been said, if you want money, you gotta do the illegal stuff. You gotta get yourself into trouble. You gotta basically risk your neck out. But if you are a laid back kind of guy, or you're role playing a civilian, someone innocent, you can just casually go over here in like a 98C general store, which is over here in Little Mexico. And then after that, you can just go in, then of course just do a store job, and then you can fulfill the obligation of delivering this delivery package. Now you go outside, store this in your Glendale, then inventory, general delivery, store and storage, Glendale inventory, then get back in your driver's seat and drive over there. Of course, you gotta pick up the delivery all the time. You gotta do it basically in the same function, the same way you would do shoplifting and other house robberies and burglary. Now, after you do store the general delivery, or maybe liquor delivery, electronics delivery, it can be any delivery from any store, you will be navigated to a spot on the map, and then you basically gotta drive through it. It can, of course, like, this is completely RNG as far as I do know. You can end up with a house that's basically across half the map, or you can end up with a house that's like basically the street like around to the store. It all depends on your luck, really. And of course, after you drive to the location which you are directed toward, of course you will get your payout, and the payout can vary, as far as I know, from about $20 to $50. It always kind of changes. Or at least has changed with my experience on the server. And of course, an advisory, you do gotta keep out which location you do get, because me personally, as a VLA member, I just got Los Flores, and I am in Vago territory. And if there was any Vagos online right now, it would not be pretty for me. Now I take out my delivery, then I walk up to the checkpoint on the map, and I just do slash deliver. Now another note to have is that okay, now we got $57, so the range did get increased. Or, you know, maybe future updates, relations will get added, and you will be able to get more money. Now, of course, just to mention, you can also fence, basically steal the hardware deliveries as you would do like shoplifting. There's no cooldown for it. It is not the biggest payout, but if you just still feel like being a criminal at all times, you still can do that. Now, those are the main factors and things you can do. Of course, there is like it was stated before, for example, like for the LSPD faction, they can arrest, I mean, they can arrest people and basically raise their budget to get the SWAT tanks or whatnot was mentioned. But as for individuality and players wise, getting your own money, getting your own guns, getting your own houses, these are the main things you can do. And now, as a final thing, I do want to mention the prices for the guns which you can use for robbing. They are pretty good with the economy, I'd say personally. Now, like I said, you can't drive to any dealer if you're a hood rat, but I'm pretty sure Emmett is the only one that will serve you if you are a hood rat. In my case, I'm VLA, so I drive to Hazer. Then we just go to the dealer, and another thing to know, the dealer prices are all the same for every gun. Basically, if you go to Hazer, prices are the same. If you go to Emmett, the prices are the same. So you just walk up to Hazer's dumpster, for example, press N, Hazer's dumpster, and then you can get any gun you want. All depends on your mood. As well, you gotta keep in mind, hood rats are limited to Colts as far as I know as of the recording of this video. And for bigger and stronger guns like the AK shotgun, I don't know about the MP5 Indigo, but you would need like a higher rank slash tier in your faction to get that. Now that should be all. I hope you enjoy your time robbing, I hope you enjoy your time grinding, and I hope you do eventually get your opportunity to buy a house or a car, whatever suits you. And I do hope you can surpass my money count, which is 43,000 as of current in my wallet. We don't talk about my bank. And I'll see all of you later.